Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's been quite a while that I have not talked to anybody via my two YouTube channels. But I have something interesting that I wanted to talk about. The best thinking that I think is in general. I would say I received or I got this idea of hypothesis testing, which is fundamentally how the scientist would actually identify certain experiments to be true. So anybody who would have certain idea can be specifically brought into test. So let's say someone has a great idea and they don't know whether it's true or not. So they do some sort of experiments. They gather the data, and then they do by experiments, and they try, and they put it to test for how many. It totally depends upon the experiment, like how it want it to be. They collect as much data as much they can, and they put it for testing. So the first thing is the first thing is that they come up with they put forward their hypothesis, which is okay, this is my idea, and then they put the alternate hypothesis, which is not true. Okay, so it's always a tendency is to, the idea is to prove that it is wrong, but if it is wrong, it's a bingo. So they gather the data. There are so many graphs which we try to understand which one fits in. There are like so many tests, like t-test, t-graph, p-graph, f-graph. So many graphs are there. So we just try to understand where the data actually fit into which graph. We try to understand what percentage of the data is accurate. Maybe we are thinking about a bigger population. So let's say that COVID did happen. The entire population of the world got COVID. So we can take a small sample, let's say particularly in Europe or in a particular region in Europe, let's say Spain. And then it did occur in Spain, and then it's not necessarily even we have to take the entire Spanish population, but we can test it for a few number of population and then compare it with the world again, population. So this way of method or analogy or a method of experiment is basically thinking is ideally known as hypothesis testing. So I think this is a very good way of understanding the world for more of clarity because it's always keeping an idea of something is correct. You have a great idea and you think that you believe that is right, and so you always compare it. You just zoom out and then try to understand how did it work for so many people, or how is it working for many bigger population, not just considering one or two. So even if we don't have a sufficient amount of data, we could still do a small amount of experiments and then try to understand how the population works. So always when you compare your idea or something new with a bigger population or a bigger set of data, you can never go wrong. So it's interesting, particularly when you're learning a new subject or in any situation. I would say it's a wonderful thinking process, which I believe it was very unknown because it was very known for just a few people, but I think it's a wonderful way of looking at things. Let me see whether I can